Okay, so this is a problem from section 14.3. In your book, these are exercises 19 through 22, which have to do with picking tokens out of a jar. They're actually examples of problems involving conditional probability. What that means is that the probability of one event is being affected by another event. So let's read through here. It says, playing a store's discount game. It says, to stimulate business, a department store has introduced a game called Register Roulette. To play, a customer selects a first purchase and a second purchase to qualify for a discount. The customer then reaches into a container and randomly selects 2 game tokens. There are 50 green tokens that qualify a purchase for a 10% discount, 10 blue tokens that result in a 20% discount, and 2 red tokens that give a 50% discount. So it says, assume that you're randomly selecting 2 of these tokens without replacement and compute the probability of F given E. So basically, if you look at what we're going to be, all the different events here, they all involve picking these tokens. They have nothing to do with the discount percents and all of that. So that information, that's more than we need. What we do need to kind of keep track of is how many of each token are in this jar. Okay, you've got a container and all the tokens are in there and the customer picks out of a jar. There are 50 green tokens. So 50 green tokens, 10 blue, and 2 reds. So total in the jar there are 62 tokens to start. Alright, so let's look at what happens in number 19. The first event is you're going to select a red token. So out of these 62, you reach in and you pull out a red token. Now, the event that we're interested in is this F event. It says the second token that you pick is green. So remember that you're taking tokens out of a jar without replacing them. So once you have selected the red token out of this jar, then your jar is now going to have 61 tokens. And one of the red ones is gone, right? But everything else is this way it was. So you have 50 green, 10 blue, and 1 red out of these 61s. So what's the probability out of these 61 tokens that you pick a green? Well, then the probability of picking a green is going to be 50 greens out of 61 tokens. And that's your answer. That's all they want. Okay? All right, let's try number 20. Okay, you're back to your 62 token jar. You select a red token. You keep it aside. You don't put it back in the jar. And now you're going to reach in again. And your second token is also red. So what's the probability that you are going to select this red token? Well, again, you have 61 tokens. The probability of selecting a red token out of that is 1 out of 61, because you took one of the red tokens out first and left it outside the jar. So now your series of 61 tokens only has 1 red in it. So the probability of selecting it out of the jar is 1 over 61. Okay, let's look at 21. You're going to first select a non-red token. What's the probability? So again, you have 61 tokens now because you've taken out a non-red. What's the probability of selecting a red token out of this 61? Well, your 2 red tokens are still there. So 2 out of 61 is the probability of selecting red. Okay, here's 22. You're going to select a non-red token first, and the second token is non-red. So again, you've selected a non-red token, which means that now instead of having 60 non-red, you have 59 non-reds out of your 61.